Let's start with a question. Can you think of a value that every culture around the world would agree is important? Maybe you thought of love, justice, or truth. These are all examples of what we call universal values. Right day, everyone. My name is Melissa May B. Morera, and I'm going to explain to you what universal values are. So, universal values are moral characteristics that are found in human beings. They're the basic principles that help us live together peacefully no matter where we came from. On the screen, you can see the examples: love, peace, truth, wisdom, integrity, justice, coexistence, service, devotion, and contentment. These values help form the foundation of a harmonious society. And in short, universal values are the invisible rules that guide how we treat one another. Now let's move on to the next slide. Are universal values real? Now let's think deeper. Do these values really exist in every time and place? Or are they just made up by societies? This is a question many philosophers have asked. Plato said that values like courage, wisdom are eternal truths, that they exist beyond the real world, kind of like perfect ideas that we try to live by. While Jesus Christ taught love, forgiveness, and compassion. And also, Confucius talked about the righteousness and respect for others. These leaders didn't invert values, they reminded people of them. But Aristotle thought differently. He believed values exist inside us as part of being human, not floating somewhere in the universe. St. Thomas Aquinas agreed with this. For them, values are real because they show up in how we lived and act. So, whether you believe values are outside us, like Plato, or inside us, like Aristotle, most agree universal values are real and they matter. Next slide: human nature and university. Let me ask you another question. What makes human different from animals or plants? It's not just our bodies, it's how we think, feel, and act. Philosophers say humans are rational, sentient, and alive. So we think logically, unlike animals. We're aware of our feelings, unlike plants. We can understand and choose value like justice or compassion. That's why values like love and truth are considered universal. They come from the very nature of being human. One thinker, Van, said that universal values are like the invisible logic behind how we live and make sense of the world. So next time when you act with honesty or kindness, remember, you're living out a value that connects you with every human on earth.
Universal value is a term used to designate the moral characteristics inherent in a subject. It was formed by implied behavioral standards necessary to live in a harmonious and peaceful society. Saint Thomas agreed with Plato and Aristotle, but the universals do not exist apart from the individual. They exist as universal features, individuated, instantiated in the individuals. In other words, universals are abstracted common features from individuals. For example, the universal characteristics of humans are that they are rational, sentient, living bodies. Characteristics common to all persons. A human person differs from stone because one is alive, differs from plants because one is sentient, and differs from animals because one is rational. So, universal value means basic moral qualities or traits that all people should help society to live in peace and harmony. So, according to Saint Thomas, like philosophers Plato and Aristotle believe that these values are not separate things floating around. Ga-exist siya within individual people or makita gid siya naton mismo sa tao. Like for example, We humans are alive, can feel, and can think rationally. So, amo ni siya ang makaseparate sa aton sa bato, tanom, kag animals. So, these shared traits are called universal characteristics, and they help define what it means to be human.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aris Perlino, and this will be my reporting. Underlying the material world and making the world possible. The same is true with moral standards and values. Honesty and respect for human life are characteristics found in all people who respect and do not harm others. All standards and values in the Ten Commandments can be reduced to the role of love. No one can wish hatred, killing, or stealing to be universal because it would contradict self-preservation. Using Kant's criteria, identified universal values can be wild as the values of all. So, based on Kant's philosophy, universal values are those that can be wild as a law for everyone without creating a logical contradiction. This is known as the categorical imperative. For example, if you tried to make lying a universal rule, the very concept of truth would disappear, making it impossible to deceive someone. Since this leads to a contradiction, lying is not a universal value. Values like honesty and respect can be universally applied without issue, which is why they are considered moral and universal. That's all. Thank you.
Bright afternoon, everyone, and bright afternoon, ma'am. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Roseanne Emporas, and today I would discuss about the Dr. Kent M. Keats universal moral principle that found throughout the world. So, universal moral principle, it is a set of guidelines that transcend culture and religions. It also promoting harmony and respect among individuals. So, these principles are divided into two main categories, which is the do no harm and do good. So, first, I would like to discuss first category, which is the do no harm. So, do no harm, it is a category emphasizes the importance of avoiding action that can cause harm to others of the environment. So, first, I would like to discuss the first principle of do no harm is do not do to others what you would not like them to do to you. So, it means nga hindi mo pag-obrahon sa iba nang hindi mo gusto nga obrahon sa imo. So, this principle is emphasizes respect for others and avoiding action that can harm them. And number 2 is do not lie. But silingon, hindi ka magbuting. So, because honesty is a crucial in any relationship, lying can lead a misunderstanding and hurt others. So, number 3 is do not steal. But silingon is hindi ka mangawat. Because it's important to respect others' property. Then, theft harms not only individuals but also society. And number 4, do not cheat or deceive. But silingon is hindi ka manginto because deception destroys trust and relationship. And integrity is vital in all aspects of life. And number 5 is do not false accuse others. But silingon is hindi mo pag-akusahan sa hindi insakto or hindi man matuod sa iban nga tawo. Don't false accuse others. Because false accusations can lead to unjust treatment of others. And number 6 is do not commit adultery or incest. So, but silingon, hindi ka magpatay. Do not commit adultery or incest as but silingon is hindi ka panginbabayo or panginlalaki, especially if you are married to another person, because these actions are immoral and can cause harm to those involved. And number 7 is do not physically or verbally abuse others. But silingon is hindi mo pagsakiton ang tao by physically or verbally. Basilingon physically if ginasakit mo siya by physically, and verbally is basilingon napasakitan mang isang tawo through words or hurtful words nga nahambal mo sa ibang nga tao, and it can cause hurt or abuse to others. Because violence is not a solution to problems. Respecting each other's dignity is essential. And number 8 is do not murder. Basilingon is hindi ka magpatay. Yeah, we already know that a murder is a very sinful act and immoral sin because life is a sacred and should be respected, because murder is a serious violation of human rights. And last is number 9, do not destroy the natural environment. Basilingon is hindi mo abusuhan or gubuon ang aton nga natural environment, because we are living within this environment. If the environment is destroyed, the people also will affect, because environmental conservation is crucial for the world's future. We should protect our natural resources. So this is the 9 principle of do no harm. I would recall. First is do not do to others what you would not like them to do to you. Second is do not lie. Number 3 is do not steal. Number 4, do not cheat or deceive. 5, do not falsely accuse others. Number 6, do not commit adultery or incest. Number 7, do not physically or verbally abuse others. And number 8, do not murder. And the last is do not destroy the natural environment. And also we move on to second category of moral principle, which is the do good. So do good, this category focuses on proactive actions to promote the well-being of others and the environment. Basilingon is do good is amo ni siya ang dapat nga obrahon. So the first principle of do good is do to others what you want like them to do to you. Basilingon obrahon mo sa iban kung ang gusto mo man nga obrahon mo sa iban kung gusto mo nga obrahon sa imo ang amo na sili nga kung anong ginahimo mo sa iban is mabalik mo na sa imo. If you are do good to other people, it will come back to you 3 times or 4 times blessings, because this principle is emphasizes kindness and respect towards others. And the second is be honest and fair. Basilingon is maging honest ka and maging fair ka sa tanan nga bagay, because honesty and fairness are vital in a relationship and institution. Now we already know that being honest is making a strong relationship and a good communication to others people. And number 3 is be generous. Basilingon is maging mahinatagon ka or maging maayo ka, because generosity shows care and love for others. If you maayo ka sa ibang nga tao, basilingon you are care and love sa ibang nga tao. You have a love and care to others. And number 4, be faithful to family and friends. Basilingon is maging faithful ka sa imong mga pamilya and sa imong mga relatives or sa imong mga friends, because loyalty to loved one is essential for a strong relationship. We already know that loyalty is the most important thing in relationship. So, number 5 is care for your children when they are young and your parents when they are old. Basilingon is buligan mo or alagaan mo ang imong mga bata samtang bata pa sila, and buligan mo ang imong ginikanan samtang buhi pa sila or magtigulang na sila. Because caring for family member is an important responsibility. Of course, it is our responsibility to take care of our parents or our children. And number 6 is help those who cannot help themselves. Pasilingon is buligan mo ang mga tawo nga gakinahanglan sang buligs or those nga hindi nila mabuligan ang ilang nga kaugalino or they are not help. Because helping those in needs demonstrates our care and love for others. Number 6 is be kind to strangers. Dapat is maging maayo ka or maging kind ka sa bisan sa mga tao nga hindi mo kilala. Even though hindi mo sila kilala, but because they need help, you need to help them with all of your heart. Because kindness to strangers shows an open heart and love for others. And number 8 is respect all life. But silingon is respetuhon mo or value mo ang taning kakabuhi, especially not only hindi lang kita nga tao, but of course everything nga gakabuhi, animals, plants sa sinyang kalibutan, we should respect them and give them value because life is a sacred and should be respected. We should promote the well-being of all living beings. And the last is protect the environment. Silingon is environment. Silingon is protektahan mo ang aton nga environment. Because environment as conservation is crucial for the world's future. We should protect natural resources and promote sustainable development. Now we should protect our environment because we are living this environment. We should protect them so live nga magakabuhi kita there sa atong environment, there sa kalibutan sang insakto. And that's all for the second category, which is the do good. So I'd like to recall. First is do to others what you want like them to do to you, and second is be honest and fair. And 3 is be generous. Number 4 is be faithful to family and friends. And number 5, care for your children when they are young and your parents when they are old. Number 6, help those who cannot help themselves. Number 7 is be kind to strangers. Number 8, respect all life. And the last is protect the environment. So this is the 9 principles of the do good. So that's all for my discussion, and I hope you learned a lot, and thank you so much, and God bless.
Good day everyone, I am Stephanie Badomia, and today I'll be discussing you about the one of the values and moral concepts of some leading indigenous people in the Philippines. The Ifugao. The Ifugao is an ethnic group in North Central Luzon, Philippines around Banali, also known as Ifugao, or Ifugao. They are believed to have migrated from China about 2,000 years ago. They first came into contact with the outside world in the early 20th century when American military personnel and teachers arrived and improved roads, facilitating communication. The name Ifugao means inhabitant of the known world. Traditional lifestyle. Ifugao's traditional way of life, particularly their famous rice terraces, which are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, are often called the Starways to Heaven. In terms of daily life, men are responsible for building and maintaining the terraces, and historically they were hunters, although headhunting has been abandoned. Women, on the other hand, plant and harvest rice, pound rice, and wooden pistols, and weave unique fabrics. Children are carried in scarves by both parents, and older men may still wear Korean clothes. Social values and marriage. The Ifugao's social values and marriage customs. Monogamy is common, but wealthy families may practice polygyny. Incest is prohibited, especially between first cousins. And distant cousins can marry only after paying livestock penalties. Courtship often takes place at girls' houses. And there are also trial marriages and arranged marriages for wealthy individuals. After marriage, gift exchanges are common, and newlyweds live with parents before moving near rice fields. Divorce is allowed for reasons such as almonds, childlessness, quarrelly, and desertion, and property goes to the children. Remarriage is possible for widows and widowers, but they must pay the deceased's family before marrying. Family and inheritance. The Ifugao's family structure and inheritance practices. Men are primarily responsible for the terraces, while women handle rice-related tasks and weaving. Both sexes can inherit property, with the firstborn receiving the largest share. However, illegitimate children receive support from their father but no inheritance. The Ifugao's culture and spiritually, including symbolic dances that reflect their values of civility, spiritually, and aspirations. They have animist belief, believing in ancestors and nature spirits that influence their daily lives. The Ifugao people are also able to preserve their ancient traditions while also adapting to modernity. Their rice terraces are a remarkable example of sustainable agriculture and cultural resilience, showcasing their ability to maintain their way of life in the face of changing times.
Bright morning and mabuhay. I am Cristel Relota, and the report I am going to report is about marriage norms and expectations, marriage rules and customs, post-marriage and divorce. So first we have the marriage norms and expectations. First we have monogamy. Generally, one spouse per person is the accepted standard. So, kumbaga, isa lang gid ka partner at a time ba? Like, example is, most Western countries legally recognize only monogamous marriages. So, when we say monogamous, it is involving marriage to one person at a time. So, kumbaga, isa-isa lang gid ka partner. Next is polygyny. In wealthier families, men may have multiple wives, though this is a less common. Example is the Muslims. Muslims are allowed to have multiple wives. They can marry 2 to 3 wives, sometimes 4. It depends naman po sa ila. Next, we have the marriage rules and customs. First is an incest. Marriage is a forbidden with first cousin. So, usually ni siya nga is sa mga Christian countries, which is may sila laws nga against sa marriage between family members. Next is cousin marriage. Marrying more distant cousin is sometimes possible but may require a payment of livestock as a penalty. Example is, in some rural communities, marrying a distant cousin might be allowed if the family compensates the community with livestock. Like, okay lang sa ila magpakasal ka sa imong cousin, like layo na gid sa wala ka cousin, and as long as, like for example, may hatag ka nga baka, do ka man abala, daw may mga kanding. Next is trial marriages. Temporary unions are common, allowing couples to test compatibility. Example is, some couples may live together before marriage to understand their compatibility better. So, kumbaga, galib-ina na sila bala ng wala pa kasi nga galib-ina nga hindi pa kasado. Next is courtship. Suitors typically visit the girl's home to court her. Example, is traditionally a young man would visit a woman's family home bringing gifts and seeking approval from her parents. Like para sa aton nga Pinoy, may courtship kita di ba nga makadto ang laki sa balay sa bayi, and then sa una nga mga traditions nga gapamisak pa kahoy, gakabo tubig, daw kaamo na sa baya. Next is arranged marriages. Wealthy families often use matchmakers to find suitable partners for their children. Example is in some cultures, family hire matchmakers to find partners who meet specific criteria such as social status, education, or family background. So, usually na siya nga sa mga business owners, mga business partners. Next is gift exchange. Families exchange gifts to cement ties after marriage. Example is during a traditional wedding, the bride's family might give the groom's family valuable items and vice versa, symbolizing unity and mutual respect. So, kumbaga, during marriage, naga-exchange sila of gifts nga. Amo na daw, tradition lang yun nila. Next is ongoing ties. Post-marriage, families maintain close relationships. Example is, family often live near each other or frequently visit to provide support and maintain familial bonds. So, bisan say kamo like for example kamo sa imong partner abe nag-live that together and kumbaga daw nag-separate bla sa inyo family, but still di ba ang usually Pinoy gina-visit gid gyapon, gina-visit gid siya, may time gid nga ga-visit gid gyapon. Next is the post-marriage and divorce. First is residence. New couples may initially live with parents before establishing their own home, often near fields. Example is in rural areas, newly married couples might live with the groom's parents to help with farming and household duty. So, kumbaga daw bago pa lang kamo nang mga bago pa lang balakasal nga wala pa sa ilang kaugalingon nga balay, di ba? Like, usually sa parents, maginaanay makadto. Next is divorce. Divorce can occur through mutual agreement or by paying damages. Example is, if husband wants a divorce but the wife doesn't agree, he may have to pay her a certain amount as compensation. Next is, we have the inheritance practices. First is the inheritance. Children inherit property. Example, after a parent's death, their house, land, and other assets are passed down to their children. So, kumbaga ang children ang tagapagmana ba. Firstborns typically receive the largest share. Siya ang may pinakadako nga makuha sa ila mamana. Example is, in some families, the eldest son might inherit the family business or a larger portion of land to ensure the family legacy continues. Next is gender equality. Both men and women can inherit. So, bisan magbabayi ka pa maglaki, magbayo, tumboy, dapat may ma-inherit ka gid Japon as long as part ka sa family. Illegitimate children entitled to support from their father but not a full inheritance. Example is, an illegitimate child but might receive financial support from their father for education and basic needs but may not inherit as much property as legitimate children. So, ang illegitimate nga children is hindi siya maka-receive the same sa mga legitimate children's. And that's all.
Village roles. Men and women share responsibilities in farming and household tasks. Their roles are guided by tradition. Work of men. Men build and maintain terraces. Their effort ensures the flow of and strong foundation for farming. The men are in charge of constructing and repairing the rice terraces, which are carefully built in mountain slopes. This work is very hard and requires strength and skills. Without their efforts, water would not flow properly and the terraces would collapse. The terraces they maintain are not only useful for farming but also considered a cultural treasure, showing the unity and the hard work of the community. Work of the women. Women plant, weed, and harvest the rice. They also pound rice using wooden pestles and stone mortars are an ancient tradition. Women take care of most of the farming activities. They plant the rice seedlings, remove weeds to protect the crops, and harvest the rice when it is ready. Aside from farming, they also pound rice with wooden pestles and stone mortars, turning the grains into edible corn. This is done in the same way their ancestors did. Make it more than just work, it is a living tradition. Weaving tradition. Women weave unique fabrics that represent their village identity. Weaving preserve culture and heritage. Another important task of a woman is weaving. They spend many hours creating hand-woven fabrics that are special to their village. Each design or pattern has meaning and reflects their culture and identity. Weaving is not just a way to make clothing, but also a way to preserve culture, tradition, tell stories, and pass down heritage from one generation to the next. Caring for their children. Children are carried by both men and women. Scarves are knotted around the body to keep children close and safe. In the village, child care is shared by both men and women. Parents carry their children using scarves tied securely around their bodies. This allows them to keep their children close while still working in the fields or at home. It shows the strong sense of family, and children are cared for not just by their mothers but also by their fathers, reflecting the community's value of love and responsibility.
The Negritos live in the mountains of Luzon and on the islands of Palawan, Panay, Negros, Cebu, and Mindanao. The Negritos are among the earliest inhabitants of the Philippines. They are scattered across different regions, often settling in remote and mountainous areas. Their location in various islands reflect their nomadic and survival-based lifestyle, relying on hunting, gathering, and small-scale farming. Also known as Aita, Ata, Bulaga, Batak, Dumagat, Mamanwa, and Pugot. They are divided into 25 ethno-linguistic groups totaling about 15,000 people, mostly animists, some are Christian. Negritos is a collective term for several ethno-linguistic groups with distinct cultures and languages. While many continue their animistic beliefs centered on nature and spirits, some have adopted Christianity due to colonial influence. Despite their small population, they have preserved unique traditions that highlight their identity as one of the most ancient groups in the Philippines. Children are named after notable nearby objects, and if the child is sickly, the name is changed to appease spirits. Naming practices reflect their spiritual beliefs and close connection to nature. By naming children after objects or changing names when illnesses occur, they seek protection from spirits. This shows how deeply their daily life and traditions are tied to faith in unseen forces and nature. It is disrespectful to address elders by name. Relationship terms like anak or son are used instead. Respect for elders is a central value in Negrito communities. Instead of calling elders by their names, they use kinship terms to show honor and maintain harmony within the tribe. This strengthens family ties and highlights the importance of communities' relationships in their culture.
Bright afternoon, everyone. So, this is the continuation of the topic, the values and moral concepts of some leading indigenous people in the Philippines, the Negritos. So daughters are considered valuable asset and not married off without payment. Parents may contact daughters at an early age to avoid parents considering them married though they live with their parents until puberty. If a boy's family has a daughter seeking a husband, an even exchange may be arranged. Men may marry as many wives as they can afford, though usually only chief or captains of the tribe have more than one. One man in Tagiltil reportedly had 7 wives. Disputes are rare, showing natural honesty, though contact with outsiders may change this. So this topic highlights 4 key points. First is the bride price and arranged marriages. Bride price refers to the price or amount paid by the groom to the parents of the girl. It may be wealth, riches, properties, or assets. Arranged marriages refers to the contract or agreement between the two families, between the family of the boy and the girl, to let their son or daughter be married off. So second is exchange marriages. This refers to the contract between the two families to let their daughter or son married off, and the family neither has to part with their possession. Third is polygamy. This refers to the Negritos men allowing them to marry wives as many as they can afford as long as they can support their family, which is usually seen to the kapitan or the chief of the village. Lastly is the social behavior and honesty of the Negritos. This refers to their natural honesty, with disputes being rare among their everyday interactions.
The main Moro ethno-linguistic groups are the Maguindanao, Maranao, Tausug, Samal, Badjao, Yakan, Ilanon, Sangir, Melabugnan, and Jama Mapun. The Maguindanao, Maranao, and Tausug form the majority. Most are Sunni Muslims with some animist practices in minorities. Traditional women's clothing is Malay in origin, with a sarong and long-sleeved jacket. Moros are not a united group. They are divided by language, politics, and varying Islamic orthodoxy. Tausugs, for example, criticize Yakans and Badjaus for being less strict. The Moro people of the Philippines are not a single community but a collection of diverse ethno-linguistic groups such as the Maguindanao, Maranao, Tausug, Yakan, Samal, Badjao, and others. While the majority follow Sunni Islam, their practices differ, with some groups maintaining older animist traditions. Their culture reflects deep Malay roots seen in their traditional clothing like the malong and long-sleeved jackets, as well as the rich art forms such as weaving, brassware, boat making, and kulintang music. Historically, they resisted Spanish colonization for centuries, preserving their identity and political systems like the sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao. Today, many live under the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, but differences in language, politics, and religious strictness continue to mark their diversity. Despite challenges of poverty, conflict, and displacement, the Moro people remain a resilient community whose traditions and struggles form an essential part of the Philippine cultural heritage.
Moro society centers on a sultan, both a secular and religious leader. The dato measured power by the followers, not land. In return for tribute, a dato offered Eid and Mijeti disputes. He could have up to 4 wives and enslave other Muslims. Blood feuds or redo persist, often over land or political influence, sometimes lasting generations. Studies show over 1,200 land feuds since the 1930s, claiming more than 5,500 lives. The government usually negotiates peace rather than arresting fighters. Education is linked to peace, reinforcing that educated people tend to avoid extremism. So the highest position in Moro society is the Sultan. He is both the religious and secular leader, meaning he governs both religion and politics. And then the Datos, their power does not come from land, but from the number of followers or supporters they have. And then the main problem in Moro society is Rido or blood feud. One of the biggest problems in Moro society is Rido. This is a conflict between families or groups due to land, politics, or personal issues. Sometimes it continues for the next generation. Because of this, many lives are lost and relationships between families and communities are destroyed. So instead nga pangpresohon nila ang mga tao nga involved sa away, ga-focus na lang sila sa peace talks. So lahi sila sa ubang komunidad sa Pilipinas nga ang leader kay barangay, kapitan o mayor. Sa Moro society, padayon nga gisalig og girespeto ang sultan ug dato isip usa ka tinuod nga leader sa Moro society. And that's all. Thank you.